What if I told you only a handful of video types are responsible for 95% of the millionaires on YouTube? Well, I've studied just about every type of video on YouTube in the last few years, and my main channel that I started in 2019 now has nearly 1 million subscribers, and it earns me thousands of dollars every day passively. But here's the shocking truth about viral videos that nobody talks about. Most types of videos you see on YouTube don't make money, and most influencers are broke. And it took me years of trial and error to figure out which types of videos get views and, more importantly, make money. But luckily for you, you don't have to go through all of that trial and error, because if you pay attention to this video and you focus on making only the videos that I talk about, you're going to be making more than 99% of YouTubers out there. And by the way, it doesn't have to be the big budget videos like the ones that Mr. Beast does. In fact, it's actually easier than ever to make money with just a computer and a phone. And if you stick around until the end of the video, you're going to see that almost anybody can do this and become successful. And these same video types have helped over 18 of my students get to 7 figures per year, and 5 students get to the $10 million a year mark. And by the time this video is over, you're going to have a clear blueprint on exactly how you can do this as well. So if you appreciate me doing this type of video, go ahead and dominate that like button more than most gurus dominate their niche with recycled content and a fresh coat of buzzwords. And let's jump into the video right now. So in this training, we're going to go over the only YouTube videos you need in order to make in order to pocket $1 million. And the first one we're going to talk about is news style content. So this is pretty obvious. You're covering the news, like new things that come out. This is one of my clients, Felix and Friends. He is absolutely awesome. He makes somewhere between like a $700K and $1 million a month. And he, of course, does a finance channel. So news style content, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't work very well for a lot of niches out there. But for the niches that it does work for, it can be incredible. And finance is one of those niches. So news style content, you'll probably notice just about any big channel out there, such as Graham Stephan, Andre Geek, Me, Kevin, etc. They all basically morph into news style content at some point. They might have started off as like a how-to channel or a listicle channel or something like that, but eventually they just morph into news style content. And this pretty much happens to every finance channel because they just realize that news style content is the stuff that gets the most views. It's just that simple. And in the finance industry. And yeah, doing finance content is incredibly good when it comes to news style content. If you are doing finance, whether it's trading, whether it's, options, penny stocks, or just like talking about stocks in general, even if it's like index funds or anything like that, chances are news style content is going to be one of the best to do for you. Okay. So why it works, keeps people updated with the latest news, provides valuable training, and the content is education-based, okay? Now, that is one thing. There is news-style content that's education-based, and then there's news-style content that's basically drama-based, and you want to do the education-based audiences and appeal to that audience, not the entertainment-based, okay? Second, listicles. So this is what I do on my main channel. So my main channel that has over 800,000 subs. This is what I do. I pretty much make listicles, and these are pretty good. These are pretty good for appealing to a lot of different types of audiences. A lot of the time they do appeal to mass market audiences. Now there's more general or broad listicles, and then there's more niche listicles. Of course, the more general or broad listicles would appeal more to a more mass market audience. And then the more niche listicles, of course, are going to be a little bit more niche. But with that being said, things like 7 entry-level jobs, 9 remote jobs, 10 ways to do XYZ, etc., or some of these that I do, work from home jobs with no experience, work from home with no experience with these 9 remote jobs, 7 entry-level jobs that are actually always hiring, etc., etc. These tend to be pretty good for sales, even with a broad audience. They do, in many cases, appeal to a broad audience, but they're actually relatively good for sales as well. And there's basically 2 different types of listicles. You've got fact-based listicles, and you've got opinion-based listicles. And even though they are relatively similar, there are really, honestly, pretty massive differences between the two. Opinion-based listicles are what you want to do if you're an expert. So if you're an expert, people kind of just want to hear your opinion. And fact-based listicles are what you want to do if you are basically a non-expert. Okay, and this is where you basically just compile information based off of like official sources or people who are actual experts. Okay. And why it works, it's easy to watch, extremely easy to consume. This is why a lot of the time blog articles also are listicles, like 13 best ways to lose weight or something like that. You also get the value across quickly, and you can focus on the things that are most important. Whereas if you do a how-to video, it has to be a little more comprehensive. And it's easier to keep the viewer engaged just because, again, it's like bite-sized. It's like instead of eating the entire meal in one bite, you get to eat it in tiny little pieces, so it's just much more palatable. And it appeals to a wider range of people. Okay, so these work pretty well. And even though all of these things are true, they still sell decently well. So it's still relatively easy to make money with listicles. Now, one that's very similar to listicles is how-to videos. These two actually kind of go hand in hand. So if your audience likes listicles, chances are they also will enjoy how-to videos. Just psychographically, I've just noticed that audiences that like listicles typically like how-to videos as well. And so there you can, do some cross-promotion there. Now, generally speaking, what I always recommend is whatever format you choose, whether it's listicles, how-tos, news, etc., you want to do that format like 80% of the time on your channel, because people will come to expect that format either, and also the algorithm will categorize your channel better. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just very important for you to do that. And the analogy that I always use is my two favorite shows are Breaking Bad and The Office. The Office is a dry comedy. Breaking Bad is a gritty drama. But if I click on The Office and Breaking Bad were to pop up, I would be extremely disappointed. Why? Because I'm not in the mood for a gritty drama. I'm in the mood for a dry comedy. I'm in a light mood. I just want to, laugh a little bit, be amused. Whereas Breaking Bad is very serious. It's very, gritty, okay? And even though I love the show, I'm just not in the mood for it. So it's the same thing with your channel. You want to use the same formats at least 80% of the time, because that's what people come to expect. That's the emotional sort of experience that they want from watching your video. It's kind of like going to the same restaurant. There's certain restaurants you like, they have a certain ambiance, they serve the same types of food. You're going to the restaurant because there's people you like, there's an ambiance you like, and there's food that you like there. And so if they were changing up their food all the time, when you went there, you would not have a consistent experience. And it's the same thing with your channel. You want people to have a consistent experience on your channel, so it's very important for you to have the same formats about 80% of the time at least. But anyways, how-to videos, how I became a multimillionaire by 26, how to fix your life to get rich. These have high engagement, clear how-to videos. They can also be very helpful, and they're especially good for niche content. Now, of course, there's general how-to videos and specific how-to videos, just same thing with listicles. But one person who does this quite often is Charlie Morgan. How I became a multimillionaire, why the secret to making millions is working less, why I as a millionaire hate self-improvement, I became a millionaire at 21, here's 10 lessons you learn in your 20s. That's actually a listicle, but these three are how-to videos, okay? So he's mostly doing how-to videos. But again, I said how-to videos and listicles kind of do go hand in hand, because if you think about it, a how-to video at its core is a listicle because it's a series of steps to accomplish something. So you can kind of do those two at the same time. Now, why it works, provides clear and useful advice. It can also really provide a lot of value, and you can kind of go deep, right? You can go deep instead of listicles, which usually are a little more broad. They don't quite go as deep on one subject in many cases. It also displays your expertise. And this is one where you can do raw and unedited videos, which are fast. They're fast to make. They're sustainable. You can make these videos all the time. This is basically what I'm doing right now. There's little to no editing on this video. And you can do this by being an expert on the subject, or if you're not an expert, because I'm an expert on YouTube, so I can just talk off the top of my head very easily about this stuff. But if you're not an expert, what you can do is just simply share your journey, okay? Share your journey of learning to become an expert, okay? And yeah, these videos work really well. They also sell extremely well. Okay, how-to videos are kind of like the classics. They sell extremely well. In fact, they sell better than listicles. However, they usually don't get quite as many views. So they get less views than listicles, but they sell a little bit better than listicles. So there's a little bit of trade-off there. Next is going to be interview and testimonial videos. So this is an example, Russ Ruffino, Clients on Demand. He has a podcast, and he basically, all of his podcasts are just kind of like interviews, testimonials, etc. And yeah, it's, more painful problems mean higher earnings. Niche content solves very specific and painful problems. Another channel that does a lot of interviews and testimonial videos is my buddy Seth. This would be an example. I'm actually helping him to expand a little bit from just doing interviews and testimonial videos. That's actually why he got so many views with this one and this one. But typically, this is the type of video he was making for years right here. And this is basically where he just interviews this client right here. It's one of his clients where he helped get a digital marketing job for. And he does interviews and testimonials. Those work extremely well for getting sales, but these typically get low views. They don't get very many views, interviews and testimonial videos, but they get mega high sales. So I have seen with videos like this, interviews and testimonial videos, I've seen a video that only gets like 3,000 views, and it makes like 30K. Like seriously, I've seen this happen. I've seen videos that have gotten like 2,500 and they made like 50K. So interviews and testimonial videos, they might not get very many views, but they sell like crazy. Okay, so don't sleep on these. With that being said, most of the time, it's not a good idea to grow your channel with interviews and testimonial videos because they don't get very many views. Okay, and the people that do watch them regularly, I mean, how many freaking interviews and testimonials do you need to watch before you just decide to buy the thing, right? So you end up attracting a lot of people who are just kind of watchers and they don't actually buy in many cases over time. And that's why Seth, for instance, is kind of trying to expand from interviews and testimonials. But with that being said, don't sleep on these because these are super powerful. Some people will just put these on their VSL or put them on a landing page and not really put them on their main channel. One thing that is kind of a cheat code, guys, is if you do have these types of videos, put them on your home page. Okay, because your home page is almost like a VSL that's on YouTube. It's like a YouTube VSL. Okay, so this is kind of like a cheat code. If you are going to have these interviews and testimonial videos, put them on your home page. Make a playlist, put them on your home page, put them as the video that automatically plays on your home page. And yeah, that's kind of a cheat code. That's going to get you a lot more sales. Next, we got case study videos. So these are very similar to interview and testimonial videos. However, they tend to get more views, but they get less sales. And you can do case study videos for your clients. So that would be more of a specific case study. Or you could do more of mass market case study where you just break down someone who did really well. So just an example of someone who does incredibly well with case study videos, it's Film Booth. He's got about 372,000 subs. And he does case studies where he'll basically break down what the big YouTubers do. So like thumbnail hacks YouTubers use to hook you. And he'll talk about what, Michelle, MKBHD, and Ryan Trahan are doing with their thumbnails to hook people. And he does these case study type videos quite often, and he gets a good amount of views from them. And yeah, they're decent. They're much better for views than like testimonials and interviews, but they're not as good for money. And to be honest, these are kind of difficult. Okay, these are kind of difficult to make as well. But with that being said, if you're okay with the difficulty of them, you can definitely make these work. And another channel that does these extremely well is going to be Patty Galloway. So I'll just show you guys. Patty Galloway is another channel that pops into my head that does these extremely well. And he basically goes over, what Mr. Beast is doing, what Ryan is doing, how he broke YouTube, blah, 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 right? So he's doing a lot of case study style videos, which I think is pretty awesome. Plus he has an awesome accent too. So yeah, you see he breaks down, this unknown YouTuber gained 1 million subscribers in 6 months, Mr. Beast, Ryan Trahan, Dude Perfect, how Graham Stephan built his YouTube empire, et cetera, et cetera. He breaks down all these different YouTubers. So these videos are honestly like pretty big brain, and they're kind of difficult to make. So they're not really sustainable. With that being said, these might be the best bang for the buck when it comes to the combination of getting views and making money. Because they're pretty good for views, and they're also like pretty freaking good for making money. But the thing that's the downside is they're actually kind of difficult. Whereas Interviews and testimonials, I mean, assuming that you actually, have people to interview and do testimonials, they're super easy content. Super easy to make. How-to videos, kind of like medium difficulty. Listicles, easy, very sustainable to do. And then new style content, I'd say it's like easy, but it's a lot of work. So that like the videos themselves are easy to make, but it's just a lot of work. Like I know some people who do new style content that make anywhere from 3 to 7 videos per day. Okay, so that's a lot of work. So they're not hard to make. It's just a lot of work. So they're not really sustainable. But yeah, case studies are honestly quite difficult, but they might be the best bang for the buck when it comes to the views and the money you make. And then, I've talked about, those are all the ones that you can do to make money. Now let's talk about how this fits into YouTube, right? And by the way, case studies provide in-depth analysis and they convert really well to actual money. So attracting audiences, listicles, this is basically right here. This is top of funnel. So this is, I call this tofu. This is bottom of funnel. I call this bofu. And middle of funnel. I call this mofu. Okay? Tofu, mofu, bofu. And basically, general how-to videos are top of funnel as well as listicles. And then specific how-to videos are middle of the funnel. So these are non-student case studies. So this would be like Patty Galloway, for instance. And then you've got your bottom of the funnel. This would be like interviews, testimonials, detailed case studies of your own students, typically, your students. And these convert super well. So these down here, they generally get less views, but they convert really well to money. So you might not get that many views at all with these, but they convert crazy well with money. These up here, generally speaking, get low money, but they get tons and tons of views, just generally speaking. And I'll be honest with you, for the ones that you, like, again, whichever one you choose, you're going to be doing it 80% of the time on your channel. So I highly recommend choosing either top of the funnel or middle of the funnel for your 80%, and then choosing bottom of the funnel for your 20%. Okay? So one of these, either top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, should be your 80%. And bottom of the funnel should usually be your 20%. Just generally speaking, working with a lot of people, I found that this is best. So for instance, you could make listicles as your top of funnel, your 80%, your main format, and then you could do a few interviews and testimonials and case studies for people who watch your channel that want to dive a little deeper. Same thing with general how-tos or specific how-tos. You can do that for your 80%, and then you can do interviews, testimonials, detailed case studies, etc. for your 20%, right? And yeah, generally speaking, that's how it should go. And the best one really just depends on your personality, your presentation style, what niche you're in, etc. This is something I can help people choose as well. It also depends on your niche and like what opportunities are in your niche, because maybe there's a bunch of channels that are already doing listicles in your niche, and so general how-tos are wide open, or maybe there's a bunch of channels doing listicles and general how-tos, so non-student case studies might be a really good option. Et cetera, et cetera. Also, how much you like doing YouTube. If you really like the process of making videos, then non-student case studies might be great. If you really like the process of making videos, then maybe news might be great for you, because you're going to be making a lot of videos every single day if you do news. So yeah, there's different options for you here. Book a call in the description down below. Also, there's some free training down there. You can check the video out. I'll give you, some really good free training on exactly how you can grow and make money with your YouTube channel. Typically, I work with agency owners, coaches, consultants, online service providers, course creators, and creators who are just trying to monetize their YouTube channel. Those are the types of people I like to work with. So definitely book a call if you think we could possibly work together, or you can just check out the free resources down below as well. You can probably get really far just by checking those out. So have a good one. Take care.